Roll call, Jen.
Mike Dolson,
I'm here.
Tom McDonald,
Here.
Jamie Pluff, she's running late. Greg DeMontier,
Here.
Carol Langford, Danielle Matt, Bing Matt, James Steele Jr. He's running late. He'll be here though. Martin Charlo,
Present.
Len Tooteeth,
I'm here.
Lenice Trahan.
Thank you, Jen. I think you're at Tom for a prayer this morning, please.
Creator, I want to thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for all our friends and family, all the resources we have before you. Pray for all those that are sick, those that have passed on for their families, that their grieving is short and they find new happiness. Pray for all those that put themselves in harm's way, our police, our military, all those that care for our loved ones, our nurses, all those that teach our children, all those folks that provide public service for our people. Pray for good decisions today. Give us guidance. We open our ears for all those that are talking to us. Do all this in your name. Amen.
And thank you, Tom. We've got minutes from May 5th this morning to approve. Motion by Tom to approve May 5th minutes. Can I get a second? And seconded by Bing, all in favor? Looks like we're unanimous.
I will abstain, Daniel.
Oh, I'll take that back. Mike abstains. Then it looks like, do we have any additions to today's agenda? Greg? Okay, and open our executive. Okay. We've got one walk-in and the one addition. Can I get a motion to approve today's agenda? Motion by Tom, seconded by Bing, all in favor? Looks like we're unanimous. I don't know if our walk-in's here yet. Our walk-in isn't here yet, so Greg will go ahead with your item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was contacted by the representative from the Harley Cemetery Board. They had a meeting recently. And for those of you that don't know, it's been a volunteer organization from the get-go to take care of the Arley Cemetery. And one of the individuals, a tribal member, Ronnie Matt, has been taking care of that for many years now. Banged up quite a few of his own lawnmowers, and we finally got him a lawnmower a couple, 2 or 3 years ago. But he's been continuing to do that. And the board feels that his dedication and work over the years is worthy of something. And so what they want to do is they want $600 this year for the whole year to pay Ronnie for his work that he's been doing at the Arley Cemetery Board. They also have a request for some signs that they want to put up. One sign is kind of a map of the cemetery area that would include names where people can find certain headstones and family groupings, those types of things. The other sign is a much smaller sign. It's basically a notice to the public that nobody is to be buried there without approaching the board first. Evidently, there's been some problems there with that in the past. So that's the two requests coming from the Arley Cemetery Board.
Thank you for that information. I believe we gave Lands an additional budget to assist down there. And I think we'll need to visit with Greg or Lands to see if it's going to come out of that budget or if we need to put a motion out here just to get the money to him. But there might be funding on the backside already available just to move that over to him. Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one question, Greg. Did they have criteria for that decision process for who gets to be buried there?
They have just invited me to attend their meeting. I have not made the first meeting yet, so I don't want to misspeak. But yeah.
Do we have Des here yet, Jen?
Teresa said that might be a possible walk-in, so she just said to get you guys ready just in case she does come in.
There are no other
But
walk-ins?
there's no, and then if you look at the second page in your packet, you guys will read what she was coming in for.
Guess this will come in when it comes in. So it sounds like Teresa's got her hands around it. We are ahead. Is Doer here? Huh? Go ahead.
So last week I put in my application for Miss SKC, like ambassador of SKC, and yesterday I got accepted and I got the Miss SKC ambassador SKC role. Yay!
Congratulations. We are like a half hour ahead of schedule. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, thank you. Tuesday's discussions, talking about the need for emergency hires and when we have to hire somebody to get the job done and there's no one available. And it was the Corky's presentation and Michelle's. I want to clear something up because I was confused. And because they told me that they were hiring non-members through the one program. And I think when they say non-members, it was descendants and members from other tribes, I'm assuming. But I thought they were talking about non-Indians. And so I was confused with that when they're talking about DHRD. So, because I was trying to figure out where are they getting their list of non-Indians from to do without advertising. So that hasn't changed. They don't do that over there. So I just wanted to make, that was a point that I didn't quite understand that they were saying. So meanings or generalities were confusing for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Casey, we are like a half hour ahead of schedule. I don't know if you're ready to get started or if we need to wait, give you a few minutes to get the rest of your team here. Do you need some time or? All right, well, we'll keep cruising then.
Good morning, Tribal Council. Very good to see all of you today. We have a couple issues to present on behalf of NRD Doer, and we will start with Mark Simpson, Irrigation Infrastructure, please.
Morning, everybody. This morning I'm presenting a mod. It's actually mod 1 to a master services agreement 25-165. This is with MET Controls and Automation. They are the integrator / programmer that is doing work on our modernization projects. The current, let's get down here where I can see something. The current value is 127,775. That's the cap on that. I'm requesting an additional 200,000 to add to raise that ceiling up on that MSA to 327,775. I've got 3 task orders currently assigned underneath this MSA, and with the current projects that are going on and upcoming, I have 2 more that I would like to add to this automation of the Jocko K headworks. Now that we're getting the Jocko phases 1 through 4 of the pipeline completed, I'd like to have that be able to start talking back to the diversion itself, so we can divert less water as the pipeline is not taking it. And also lower J diversion will be upcoming that I need MET on that one also. So
Greg?
So, the original contractor was selected how? Or what kind of a procurement process led to that? And just to kind of jump ahead here, part of the concern that I have here is that the original agreement in place, makes sense. It's kind of to keep it open-ended, but there is no there's no ceiling, nothing there. Every task order would then need to be approved, I guess, to add to that. And I guess what I'm looking for here is I just want to make sure that the original selection of that contractor included some scope, if you will, magnitude, because we're going from 127 to 3 times that, right? Almost 3 times that. So it's not just a modification. It's so if it's an IDIQ, typically there is a floor and a ceiling for that, a minimum and a maximum amount for the contract. I'm not sure what type of contract you're using here.
originally when we began modernization, everything, we talked about getting telemetry and SCADA systems installed on all of our projects. And we talked with 3 or 4 different, call them vendors, I guess, of these services. We went with MET because they are a small company out of Helena, and the software that they use to do their automation and integration is not exclusive. So as the system is built out, if, let's say we have a difference of opinion with MET, we can go out and seek services from a new integrator that would be able to just pick up and carry on without any necessary, well, that software is exclusive to them. So now you need this whole new software package. So this is all open source software that they're using to build this out. And that was the reason that we went with them. They do a lot of work in the Helena Valley with Helena Valley irrigation and things like that. The initial, let's call it ceiling of 127 was so we could see if we were a good match for each other. We were going into this blind as far as knowing what we wanted to see as far as the SCADA system build out, and we didn't want to get locked into somebody that wasn't going to be able to see our vision and implement it. So we wanted it, fairly low, I guess, to start with. The previously assigned task orders included doing a network study of the entire reservation to see the feasibility of being able to get all of the different diversions and systems to be able to talk to themselves or talk to a main point. So it was kind of a radio survey slash cellular, where could we get signal and where couldn't we? So they went and mapped out the reservation for as far as communication of these systems with each other. And then I have them also on the Crow pumping plant, providing the necessary technical input and integration of those variable frequency drive pumps and sensors so that the pumping plant itself will be able to recognize when there is water above the in-stream flow that is available and ramp the pumps up and down as necessary to take that available water for diversion. It's been a good fit. They are very easy to work with. They know what they're doing. They've just been doing a wonderful job.
Well, I think you know what you're doing as well. And I hope you don't mind me drilling down on those technical points, but there's a lot of money that is going to be coming down through this effort over the next few years. And I just want to make sure that we do due diligence on each of these things at each step so that nothing blows up and taints the whole effort.
It is a good question and we appreciate it.
And you are very correct in the fact that in the upcoming future, each one of these projects has some sort of automation or industrial controls on it. Raising the, let's call it the ceiling of this by 200,000 for these task orders. I know that, if we were to keep using this company, as we do more projects, whether it's the Placid Creek diversion, the North Fork, all of those are going to have industrial controls. So it would be then come back and, hey, I want to add these task orders, so we need to go up some more with it.
Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you. I had kind of the same questions as Greg, but I guess when do you go back out? And times that I've bid out projects and I try to say, well, here's the complete thing, you know, we got all these things. So is that the way you negotiated this, is knowing that they would have 10 other task orders in the future, what the volume was? Because a lot of times companies bid on that versus just one project. So is there an anticipation, since it's technology that anybody can utilize as far as implementation, is there a time you would rebid this?
So I believe the MSA is 5 years on it. We can revisit at any point in time. Like I said, the initial thought was to see how well we work together and how their understanding of what we wanted went. At any point, really, I mean, at this point, I'd hate to lose them because they are so easy to work with. But at any point, it can be revisited, and we could put it out again and see if company A, B, or C would like to take over.
Len and Greg.
So Mark, help me understand this better. So what exactly are they going to be doing?
So a automation system utilizes several different sensors, transducers, computer modules to operate a given system. If you look at the intakes at the Jocko phases 1 through 4 pipeline project, the 2 intakes there are sensors there that read how much flow is going into the pipeline, how deep the water in the canal is, how much tailwater is leaving the pipeline.
Okay, so essentially a computer program that's going to help us monitor the
So
system.
what they essentially do is program or write the program so that all of this stuff talks to each other and is visible on a display.
Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right, thank you, Mark. And then do we have a tribal member working with this group to make sure that once they're done with the contract, we have somebody trained and operating this?
They are going to be putting on training with the VIP employees to train them, and the irrigation project themselves is looking at trying to create a position within itself to take somebody and put them in that role of diagnoser / being able to work on stuff.
Go ahead, Greg.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Greg to approve mod 1 to contract 25165. Seconded by Tom. All in favor?
I vote for it, but I have a question.
Martin? Yeah. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in favor. Sorry, 7 in. Gosh, we're almost all here. I got James abstaining, everybody else in favor, Abby. And then go ahead, Mike, with your question.
I'm just wondering how you're valuing each task. Is it by the hours, and is there an hourly rate that works into this 200,000, and how many tasks is anticipated by the extra 200,000?
By that one. It is a time and materials, and they have just given me rough estimates by the paper sheets that we sent out to them for what kind of time they think they're going to have into it. And I got a general idea on it. So I just kind of took and multiplied that and came up with a new value. So I had some buffer room to add another task if possible.
So this is anticipating just the 2 new tasks?
Actually, it's anticipating 3.
Thank you.
What's next, Casey? One moment, Casey. Greg?
Uh, I think it would be a good idea for the council to schedule in the very near future a review of our procurement policies. I don't think there's anything wrong with our existing policies. They were built for what we've been doing for quite a few years. Then along comes the Doer project, right? And all of a sudden, we're not hauling posts and poles anymore. We're hauling logs. So I think we might want to examine our procurement policy because we might need a bigger truck.
Thank you, Greg. Casey?
Thank you, Council. Next up, we have Tabby Espinoza.
Good morning, members of the council. I'm here to talk about the King Pump facility and our procurement of that process. I think we're on page 7. Oops. Oh, my pages are separate. Okay. This was an unanticipated request to you, so thanks for getting me in. The King Pump project is related to the Jocko River Bison Range Reach project. So on that Reach River, there's a private pumping facility that exists now that supplies an individual up on the Dixon Bench. And he has water rights to that facility, water rights to the water from the river. So when we move the channel, we would be making his facility obsolete. So we agreed with him to build him a new facility on the new channel banks and decommission the old one. So we put together a design package for that. We bid it this spring, and then we've received all the bids. They came in much higher than we thought was appropriate to pay for one user. So those bids came in from 455,000 roughly to 900,000. And so, we got the engineers assessment of those contractors, and they made a recommendation that we go with Rabine Enterprises, which is a Indian preference tier 2 contractor. Their bid was right around 500,000. We had our program talked about it, and we had a lot of discomfort going forward with that without talking to you guys first and without considering whether there was other options. So in the meantime, Seth actually took the lead on it, but contacted a local irrigation company just to see if they could build it for a more reasonable price. So that would be outside of our formal bid process, just kind of engaging with them, saying like, just give us a rough cut estimate. We'll see where it goes. So they came back with 167,000 as a preliminary cost on that.
Go ahead. Oh, excuse me, Tabitha.
Yeah.
Do you want her to finish? Okay.
Okay. So that's a preliminary cost estimate. We didn't make any commitments to them, but we just wanted to understand if there was other options. So that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about. We have an opinion about, where we should go, but obviously there's pros and cons with this. It's a tribal contractor, really high cost, we think, versus a non-tribal contractor. So we just wanted to get your thoughts on how you weigh those pros and cons and what you think we should do moving forward.
I'm just curious, did the engineer tell you what, why it went up so much? Is it just the cost of doing business?
He thought, we hoped that the irrigation companies would put bids in. They tend to be way more practical. They do this stuff all the time. They come up with lower costs. So we anticipated that we'd get some bids from irrigation companies. We only got general contractors, so the cost just ends up, they have so much more overhead and they just kind of build in a lot of cost that the smaller irrigation companies usually don't. So that was one thing. pretty much every single line item we looked at seemed pretty inflated across the board.
Tom?
Thank you. So when you decided to contact them directly, did you contact all of them?
We just contacted the Ronan irrigation company
Is
here.
Blile the same as Ronan?
I think so. They are. I think we were just seeing what the options were.
Okay.
We didn't contact anybody else.
Well, Blile's in Ronan too, and he does most of the irrigation sprinklers
Yeah.
that I'm familiar with.
Okay. Yeah, I think Seth had gotten a name from one of the bigger irrigators and said like who does this stuff, and that's the name he got. Yeah.
Greg?
I think I might be missing a piece or misunderstanding one of the pieces here, but so let me just run this by you, make sure, and please correct me where I'm wrong. We came up with some design and specs, advertised that. What we got back were some very high bids for our design and spec. Okay. And then we, in due diligence, trying to figure out, wow, this is pretty costly. Is there a better way to do this? Then contacted another company. And what came out of that, did that meet our original designs and specs?
Yeah, we shared with them the design package so that they could know what we were asking them to build. So yeah, they did. They have some potential suggestions for cost savings. So that would be a discrepancy between the two. It was really one item. It wouldn't bring it up to 500,000, but they did make a substitution on the pump. So that saved us $20,000, something like that. And the contractors do have the option of making the prime contractors that we originally started the process with. They have the option of making those substitutions, but it's just that would be the next step. So that's one place where they're not completely comparing apples to apples, but it would be about $20,000 difference.
So you put your specs and designs out there, advertised, and this company is sitting there locally, doesn't bid on it. I'm curious as to why.
I think they might have just not seen it. I think they're used to just having customers come to them, private people come to them and say, can you build this for me? And they do it. They don't maybe bid on a lot of jobs. But I don't know exactly why.
So what is the purpose of having to rebuild or reconstruct a whole new pumping station for a fee landowner?
I think so when we were doing the design of the channel, 2.5 years ago, I think we recognized that we would then be interrupting his water right to that water. Like if we move the channel away from his facility, he has no access to his water right. So I think that's kind of the driving factor, but it is unusual for us to do that. Like on a project like this.
You guys want to move forward and let them move outside the scope and save some money and see if we can't get this bumping there? Go ahead, Tom.
Well, I absolutely support that, but I think that it's one of those things that reflect back that we need to do this. We need to reach out, contact local vendors, make sure that they try to bid on this. Yeah, I don't know if Ronan or Blau would be better, but whether they can bond it or not, that'd be another question. But I support it. I'd make the motion to approve.
Motion by Tom to withdraw the King Pump RFP and authorize NRD Doer to initiate non-competitive contracting process with Ronan Irrigation to construct the King Pump. The second. Seconded by Carol. All in favor? Mike, what is yours? Sorry, I can't see you on Zoom. Thumbs up, okay.
I'm voting for.
Okay, I got Abby, I got 7-4, and then I got Greg and Lynn, no. Yeah, motion passes. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, for the record, I believe that this should be re-advertised. And then, Ronan can come in with an advertisement. I'm uneasy with the sole source approach when there isn't some strong justification for that. And the fact that they didn't respond to an advertisement does not, to me, say, oh, well, here, have a sole source contract then.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, Casey, who you got next?
Excuse me, just one moment.
And Casey, if we need to take 5, I know we're well ahead of schedule. You guys weren't supposed to be on until 9:40. We can take 5 or 10 if we need to. Oh, go ahead, Jen.
I was gonna say, we also have Aaron's presentation that I have up that I couldn't squeeze in today, but since we're ahead, I was just giving Casey a note to say if he wanted to add that since we're ahead after Seth and Adam present,
Seth back.
that we still might have time for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. We can visit on that. If it is appropriate to take a 2-minute break, I think we have another CSKT staff member who's planning on joining for the next presentation.
Okay, well, we'll actually take 5 because my team won't round up in 2 minutes. It's so
Good.
we'll just do 5 so everybody's back here.
Thank you.
No worries, just let me know when you're ready. We've still got a few minutes, guys.
Madam Chair, can we go into executive?
Yep, let's pull this back together. We'll go out of regular into executive and get started.
With that, Madam Chair, council members, so first we have a resolution concerning the yellow kidney settlement. So we should have a resolution with that.
Motion by James. Bing with a second. All in favor? Mike's got to sum up. It's unanimous. Oh, never mind that Abby Gregg abstains. So 8-4-1 abstention. And your next one?
Okay, then our last resolution, Madam Chair, is a grant from the Wilberforce Foundation for dollars that would go towards the upcoming Transboundary Mining Conference in Missoula.
Motion by Tom. Second by James, all in favor? Unanimous on that one for sure this time, Abby. We've got everybody.
All right, well, thank you for your time and appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. We'll break for lunch. We'll see you guys back at 1 for interviews. Or Greg, what do you got?
I just need the council to know that I've been struggling for the last day or two trying to figure out what to do with these interviews this afternoon because one of the candidates is like a younger brother to me. I've been on the bubble and I woke up this morning and realized because I'm on the bubble, I need to recuse myself. So just wanted the council to know that.
Okay. And you're welcome to sit up and not vote on that if you want, but you are still welcome to sit in. But we will go ahead and break for lunch. We'll see you guys back here at 1.
And remember, they are serving hamburgers and hot dogs over here today, free. Bernie done it for like Mother's Day weekend, but everyone in this building was invited.
Yeah, free burgers and hot dogs for celebration of Mother's Day and Mother's
Right
Day
out
barbecue
here,
employees. Just right over here. So we bought lunch, you guys.
You
just
guys don't-
FYI. Yeah.
You guys
I mean,
donated the
council and
hamburger and
executive
hot
team
dogs.
provided it.
And the executive staff donated the hamburger and hot dog buns. Okay. What it was, but they just need to keep it live stream for that listening session portion. Okay. There's nothing that's gonna be motioned on at the end of it. Marshall, when she comes in, she has a couple items.
I think I'm standing outside waiting for the bus for my little guy.
Okay.
And he'll be hanging out
Okay.
with us till done for the day.
So, all right,
Sam's
sounds,
got a
yep,
resolution.
yep.
Yeah.
I wonder. Good afternoon, ladies.
You guys ready?
Yes, I'm just looking for the page on here that we're on. You had a couple issues.
Yeah, I had a couple. I had a resolution approval and then also a request to set a pay range.
Okay, go ahead and start with the first one.
Okay, Good afternoon. I am requesting approval to accept a $9,500 Bold Mini Grant Award from the Montana Alzheimer's and Dementia Program. And that would go to our Growing Older, Staying Strong initiative where we're currently doing our fall prevention work. And so through this funding, we would work on community engagement activities, exploratory focus groups, and brain health awareness and screening activities with our older adults and elders that we're already engaging in fall prevention activities with. The purpose for adding in this funding is so that we can better understand community perspectives and identify priorities and gaps related to Alzheimer's disease and dementia, so that we can then look at future funding and relevant programs that might support brain health activities. And so we received the $9,500 award, and the resolution is just to accept that funding and be administered through tribal health.
Okay, question or motion?
Well, I already forgot what you said, so I guess it's very appropriate that I make the motion for this.
Motion by Tom to accept the award of the Montana DPHS mini grant for brain health activities. Seconded by Bing. All in favor? Unanimous. Danielle just out of the room. Okay.
I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I'm wondering if you're doing focus groups, is this something that needs to go through the IRB?
We will add it as a modification in our SKC IRB, and then through conversations with Matea, because it's an internal activity, it's a different process with the TRRB.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Roll to the next one.
And Sam, on this next one, this hasn't been benchmarked as it is, has it?
It has not been benchmarked as it is. I was waiting for the org chart change where the position would be moved from the public health division into the rehab division. And that still hasn't gone through, but we are really needing to get that position filled. And so current process, we were working on trying to get it advertised or filled. But then when I started having those conversations with HR, there were concerns about where it would benchmark just because I tried to keep the minimum qualifications broad and accessible. So for background information, we have received the IHS TIPCAT Part 1 award, which is an injury prevention award. And through Part 1, we are required to hire a full-time injury prevention program coordinator. Requirements in the funding are that it is full-time and that the position is making a livable wage. So while building that application and drafting a PD for this, what I found online is that MIT has a calculator where they will calculate livable wages for an area. Lake County's for a single adult without children is 2531. And so with the budget that was essentially built around the salary, I set it at 3125 so that we had room to go based on depending on experience. But as I said, when I started having the conversations about the benchmark and the way the PD was drafted, my goal for the position is to get the right person into it versus looking for the right degree. And so basically the minimum qualification is like high school degree with relevant experience or certifications, which from looking at comparable benchmarks, it would be probably in like the 16 to 18 on the low end. Which then when I had a conversation with our IHS program officer, the other option that was presented was that I could look at a TEA route so that I could set a pay rate. And so our program officer with IHS said having a low rate of pay or exploring the TEA route would put us out of compliance with the grant. So then when I went back to personnel asking how to go about getting this position, essentially the next option was raising the minimum qualifications, which would then restrict our applicant pool to fewer potential people. And when I built the training or the budget for this grant, I built in the training for them. So that way we could potentially hire somebody, like I said, looking for the right person versus the right degree. And so I don't want to change the qualifications and potentially eliminate the right person for this position by just then having to require a bachelor's degree so that the rate of pay comes in at a higher rate.
Carol has a question. I would prefer that this go to the executive staff rather than us discussing rates of pay. I just don't feel comfortable with that, and I know that you're in a hurry. I heard what you said. I just feel like I would rather have them take a look at it
Okay.
and then make a recommendation back to the council.
What was the
That's
timeline
my
that,
thought.
thank you, Carol. What was the timeline that personnel gave you on being able to, with the benchmarking?
Last I heard, I think they had maybe 11 positions ahead of this. I haven't, I think the last position we had benchmark took like 6 or 8 weeks to come back.
And how soon is it due by purpose of the grant that you need to get somebody hired as soon as possible?
Yeah, there is a required conference that somebody from our organization will have to attend in June. We're already exploring other options of who could potentially attend that conference. But then there is another required training later in the summer. So ideally, I mean, we would have had somebody into the position to attend the conference in June. Where we're at now, they're being flexible on who we send.
Okay, Tom?
Thank you. So you stated that the funding requirement states that you must pay a livable wage. And your livable wage you're describing kind of matches up with Dr. Munson mentioned over with the college setting a new minimum wage scale for everybody who works over there. So I believe your numbers.
Okay.
And so no matter what we do here, no matter what pay scale does, we're still facing the dilemma that it has to be a livable wage. So if they come in under it, they say it's going to be like the range you talked about, $17, $18 an hour, you're still going to have to come back in and ask for a waiver. So I just don't see what's wrong with just doing it right now. Because I think it goes to that same subject matter. If we need to set our own wage scale thing and set our own minimum wage to have a livable wage for our employees.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that that's a requirement in the funding.
I am too. It was nice to see. And so what I was hoping for approval was to be able to just set a range so that we could still, have some flexibility based on experience. So if somebody does come in, with that like high school degree or with a relevant certification, we can still build them up. But if we have, somebody come in with their master's or something, that we could be looking at a higher rate of pay to honor the work they've already put into their position. But I am hoping that because it is a fully grant funded position, that we can have some flexibility in how the pay rate is determined.
Carol?
In the past, I've seen this kind of thing open the door where everybody starts coming in. And it's no disrespect to you. You didn't know. So I just think it's best that we just put it to the executive staff, have them do it right away and get it done and bring it in. Or I don't even think it needs to come in then, right? If they said it.
I'm not sure. I was just told. Yeah, I was just told by personnel that if I wanted to go not the TEA route and not through the benchmark process, that I would have to get council permission to go outside of the benchmark system.
So personnel told you to come ask us to waive it?
They said that that would be the next step. I did speak with Dr. Fox in her interim department head capacity and asked if she was supportive of that. And she said that I could pursue this route in an effort to keep it accessible, but also meet compliance with the grant.
Tom,
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just, we have to be compliant with the grant. Otherwise, we're gonna turn the money back, right? So to me, it's, personnel was doing a preventative thing. They know it's probably gonna come under what's required in the grant. That's why they sent you here. That's what I'm assuming, but, so the pay range you're talking about is the lowest livable wage and a range up for a little bit, depending on if you get someone that has a lot of credentials and exceeds your minimum requirements. So again, I would just soon do it right now because it's gonna come back to us. And we're not gonna turn the money away, so
is that a motion, Tom?
that's a motion.
Okay. Need to find the wording. Seconded by Martin. Motion to approve the rate of pay range for the full-time position due to the what the grant is asking for compliance. Motion by Tom, seconded by Martin. All in favor? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have my screen on. Is Mike, did Mike vote?
I'm against.
Okay,
I mean, I can't make the waiver without having the benchmark to waive it for. And it's not that I don't support moving forward with the grant requirements, but I can't make the waiver without the benchmark.
okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 2 opposed, Danielle out of the room. And my statement for the record is, I'm voting for this because it is, to be in compliance with the grant because we don't want to turn away the money.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Is that it? Out of regular session, or we need to adjourn. Motion by Danielle to adjourn. Carol, sorry. Motion by Danielle to adjourn. Seconded by Martin. All in favor?